Okay, so today's measurement lesson is on composite objects, so decomposing them. So a composite object is an object that can be decomposed into component parts, such as prisms and cylinders. Okay, so we're going to look at a shape and see how we can decompose it. Then, the purpose of decomposing is to show the different prisms, rectangular or triangular, or the cylinders within the object. Okay, and we need to do this to be able to do the next lesson after this. Okay, so I hope you pause this so you can write this down first, and then we'll keep on going. Okay, so here we have your object, and we have it's a different shape. It's not a rectangular prism, it's not a cylinder or a triangular prism. It's a little bit of all of them. Okay, so what we need to do first is we need to cut this object into pieces to make it easier. Okay, so when you decompose, you must think of where you can or could cut the object into different pieces, or different 3D pieces, let's say. Okay, so let's look at our object, and I see two easy cuts right away. Okay, I see we could put a cut right here. Okay, so I'm going to show it in red, and then I can put another cut right here. Now, some of you might say, oh, well, you could cut right here. That is true, but if we're trying to make the least amount of shapes possible, okay, it's the least amount of work. So really, we can cut right here and right here simply, okay? So when you decompose, so now we have cut, so now we redraw it with our pieces separated. So I'm going to label these just so you can easily see the different ones. And when you redraw them, then you have to label the sides, right? So let's start drawing. So we have kind of a tall rectangular prism. And you should be using a ruler for this. Okay, doesn't have to be perfect, but you should be using a ruler so you have straight lines. Okay, and using pencil. Like I'm using pen, so I might make a mistake here. Okay, so we have our first piece drawn. So now we're going to label the sides. We know that across the top here, that is 7 centimeters. We know all the way up the side is 9 centimeters. Now, how deep is it? So how deep is it from here to here? Well, let's look. We don't have a measurement until, oh, right here at the bottom. So it is actually 6 centimeters deep. Okay. All right, let's do B. So here's A. Now we're on to B. So it's a bit shorter, right? So we don't have to make it as tall as the last one. Okay, remember, use a ruler. So it's easy to draw a box, and then some arms reaching back, and then we connect our arms. Okay, mine's a little bit off here. All right, so now let's label this one. This one you can tell is 7 across. Okay, and we know it's 7 across. We know it's 6 deep because they're all 6 deep, but we don't know how tall this is. Okay, so let's look. All the way up is 9. But right here we have a little one that goes from here to here that is 3. And then the rest is this object B. So we need to go 9 centimeters minus 3 centimeters, which equals 6 centimeters. So that is how high our box is. Okay? So there are some figuring out as you go. Now we're on to figure C. Now figure C is not a rectangular or prism at all. It's a triangular prism. So we're going to have it up. Now these are a little bit trickier to draw. They kind of look awkward, but that's okay. So we have the triangle, and it's kind of like a right angle triangle. And then we're just going to extend our arms back on either end and then connect them. Okay, so there's our triangular prism. So we know that it is 6 centimeters deep, and we do know the height because we found the height of B. We found it to be 6, so the height of this is 6 centimeters. Now we have to figure out the length of it. Okay, so we know all the way across is 21 centimeters. And we know that this one from here to here, A, is 7 centimeters, and B is 7 centimeters. So if we did 21 minus 7, we're going to equal 7 centimeters. So here it is, 7 centimeters wide. Okay? So that's what you need to do when you decompose. You cut, you redraw them separated, and make sure you label all the sides. Even if you don't have all the information, you need to find it. All right. Now you can continue on to your assignment on the back.